Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to look at a Leetcode problem, and the problem's name is longest strictly increasing or strictly decreasing subarray. We're given an array called nums. Our task is to return the length of the longest subarray of nums, which is either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. Strictly increasing in the sense each element is strictly greater than its previous one if it exists, and strictly decreasing means that each element is strictly smaller than its previous one if it exists. So in this case, this is one subarray which is strictly increasing because 1 is less than 4. And this is one subarray which is strictly decreasing because 4 is greater than 3. This is also a subarray which has strictly decreasing of size 2. Now let's take a look at this example and see how we can solve this question. I've taken the same example as example 1. In this example, we're given the array 1, 4, 3, 3, 2. So our task is to find the longest subarray, which is either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. So we keep iterating the array. We compare two elements from starting until the end. So let's iterate from the first index position until the end. So I will start from here so that we can compare I minus 1. So this will be I minus 1, right? So we keep track of two variables, increasing and decreasing. If it is increasing, we'll increment increasing variable. So increasing and decreasing both will be initially 1 because, so let's say if there is only one element inside the array, it is strictly increasing and is also strictly increasing. So that is why we start with 1 being the only element inside the array. So 1 will be the minimum answer for us to get the longest subarray. In each iteration, we also keep track of what was the longest until now, which will also be 1. So this will be max of increasing or decreasing or the current longest. So we compare the first element. We check if 1 is less than or greater than 4. 1 is less than 4. So it is increasing, right? So we increment increasing. So we have I and I minus 1. Increasing is 2 and decreasing is 1. So what is the max among these two? Max of 1, 2 among these two is 2. And what is the longest? So we check again the max of longest or max of increasing, decreasing. So max of longest is 1, max among these two is 2, so longest is also 2. So longest is now 2. Now we move I for the next iteration. So this is I, this will be I minus 1. 4 is greater than 3, so we increment decreasing. Decreasing is incremented by 1 and this will be resetted to 1 because broke the streak, so this will be 1. So max of 2, 1 is 2. Again, longest is 2 and max is also 2. So longest will remain 2. We go to the next iteration. Next iteration I is here. This is I minus 1. We check if both the elements are same. In this case, both the elements are same. So this will be resetted back to 1 and this will also be resetted back to 1. So max among these two is 1 and longest is 2 and max among the 2. So longest will remain 2. Now we go to the next iteration. So 2 is less than 3. So we increment increasing. Increasing is 2 and this will remain 1 and this will be set to 1 because it's not decreasing. And now again we check max among increasing and decreasing is equal to 2 and longest is 2 and max among increasing decreasing is 2. So longest will remain 2. And in the next iteration I is out of bounds, we reach the end and whatever is present inside longest will be returned as the output. So 2 is the output. Now let's take a look at the code. So in this case, you can see every single element is a strictly increasing or strictly decreasing because there is no pattern of forming more than two elements in a subarray, which is either strictly increasing or decreasing. In this case, both are either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. Coming to the function given to us, this is the function name. We are given the input array nums and the return type is an integer. Let's declare our two variables which we keep track of, increasing and decreasing, and both these will be of size 1. And both of these variables are initialized to the value 1 because we know at least one element inside the subarray and both of them are either strictly increasing or decreasing. Now let's declare our output variable. I'm going to name it longest and this is also going to be 1 because a subarray of size 1 is the longest in any array. So as you can see, this is a subarray of size 1, this is a subarray of size 1, this is a subarray of size 1. So the output will be either 1 or greater. So we start with 1. Let's start our iteration from index 1 because like we discussed, we have to compare with its previous element. I will start with index 1 until the end of the nums array. Now we have to check if the previous element, how will you access previous element? That is nums of I minus 1 will give you the previous element if that is less than the current element, nums of I. So in our case, if we take this example, this is nums of I minus 1 and this is nums of I. If nums of I minus 1 is less than nums of I, then in that case we have to increment increasing. So we increment increasing, and we have to set decreasing to 1 because we have to clear its previous value, and we reset it to 1. And in the else if block, now using the else if block, let's check if it is a strictly decreasing. How do you check strictly decreasing? You copy this and change the sign. So if the previous element is greater than the next element, in that case we increment decreasing variable. So decreasing variable will be incremented by 1, and like we did previously, increasing will be resetted back to 1 to clear its previous value for the next iteration. And the else block, it means both the elements are same. So in the current iteration and y is here, we have to compare it with its previous value. In this case, both they are same. So both are either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. So you can't take this pair and consider it as a subarray because it is neither strictly increasing nor strictly decreasing. So in this case, we take each of them as a single subarray, and that will be of the size 1 each, right? So we have to set it to increasing as 1 and decreasing as 1. So increasing is set to 1 and decreasing is also set to 1. And now just before starting the next iteration, we have to calculate the longest. So longest will be by finding the mat.max of the current longest value. So current longest value, or mat.max of increasing or decreasing in the current iteration. And now outside the for loop, return the variable longest. Now let's try to run the code. The test cases are being accepted. Let's submit the code. And our solution is accepted. So the time complexity of this approach is big O of n because we're iterating through the input array from starting to end, and the space complexity is constant big O of 1 because we're not using any extra space to solve this question. That's it guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.